Independent Television News is a UK-based television production company. It is made up of two divisions: Broadcast News and ITN Productions. ITN is based in London, with bureau and offices in Beijing, Brussels, Jerusalem, Johannesburg, New York, Paris, Sydney and Washington. DC. ITN produces the daily news programs for ITV, Channel 4 and Channel 5 in the UK, and in recent years has diversified to produce a wide range of content including documentaries, sports, advertising and digital material for a range of international clients. Between 1955 and 1999, ITN was more commonly known as the general brand name of ITV's news programs. Since the 8th of March 1999, ITV has used ITV News as the brand name for its news programs. Though ITN continues as the network's news provider, ITN was founded in May 1955 by a consortium of the initial four independent television broadcasting companies, with former Labour MP Aidan Crawley as editor-in-chief. The first bulletin was broadcast at 10 p.m. on the 22nd of September 1955 on ITV's launch night. The bulletin was presented by former champion athlete Christopher Chataway. From the start, ITN broke new ground by introducing in-vision and named newscasters and reporter packages. The unique, probing reporting style of Robin Day caused shock among politicians, finding themselves questioned continually for information. This had never been the case with the BBC. There was also some early tensions with the ITV companies. ABC Television, the ITV contractor for the North and Midlands on weekends, immediately called for shorter ITN bulletins, while the ETA ruled on a minimum of a 20-minute bulletin. Disagreements with the ITV companies over ITN's budget triggered the resignation of its news editor, Aidan Crawley, after just 1 year in 1956. He was replaced by Geoffrey Cox. Throughout the early years, ITN continued to develop its service to the ITV network with an agenda to firstly fulfill its public service broadcasting requirements and secondly satisfy the ITV companies by attracting viewer. Under this method, ITN continued to differentiate itself from the BBC by conducting probing interviews, introducing more human interest stories and bringing ordinary people onto screen by using so-called vox pops, all of which was seen as a radical departure at the time in British broadcasting. As the ITN reporter and later ITN political editor Julian Haviland put it, "My view was that at ITN we must be at least as responsible and accurate as the BBC, without being so damned boring." As ITV expanded, each ITV company that made up the network's federal structure had to purchase a stake in ITN and to continue to finance the company. In 1967, ITN was given the go-ahead by the ETA to provide a full 30-minute daily news program at 10 p.m. on ITV. There was further tension with the ITV executives as they were skeptical of the idea that viewer would want a full 30 minutes of news every Monday to Friday, and they were also losing valuable peak time slots which could be used for the sale of commercial advertising. News at 10 began broadcasting on 3 July 1967 with a newscaster team consisting of Alistair Burnett, Andrew Gardner, George Fuch and Reginald Bosanquet. It was initially given a 13-week trial run. However, the program proved to be extremely popular with viewer and continued for a further 32 years. News at 10 was to become one of the most prestigious news programs of its time in British history, with a reputation for high-quality journalism and innovation. ITN's News at 10 also prompted the BBC to gradually expand its 2050 news bulletin from 10 minutes to 15, 20 and then 25 minutes. The 9 o'clock news began broadcasting in 1970 as News at 10's rival. ITN also established other programs in the ITV schedule. First Report, a lunchtime bulletin, began in 1972 and by 1976, News at 5.45 commenced. This was a period when ITN enjoyed its greatest plaudits. Following Lord Annan's 1977 report on the future of broadcasting, which declared, "We subscribe to the generally held view that ITN has the edge over BBC News." ITN obtained the contract to produce Channel 4 News when the channel started broadcasting in 1982. The program was launched by Peter Sissons, Trevor McDonald and Sarah Hogg. The hour-long program has been broadcast at 7 p.m. since it started and has a reputation for high-quality journalism and thorough analysis. Further expansion came with the launch of overnight television on ITV in 1988, with ITN providing hourly news bulletins, as well as the half-hour ITN morning news to conclude the overnight schedules. Until the 1990s, the individual ITV companies had an obligation to provide a national news program, which required them to take a share in the ITN operation. Following the Broadcasting Act 1990, ITN had to apply and bid for a license to provide such services on these ITV networks, and would have to fight competition in order to preserve its services. As H.